Welcome to the show. My name is Carina Brains and I will be helping you with business studies today. But before we start that, I just want to give a shout out to Liberty, our sponsors, who have made all this possible. I also want to remind you to download the Tenfold Education application, or you can also watch this again on YouTube at Mindset Learn. So let's begin. Today I'm going to be talking about business studies, paper 2 specifically, and I'm going to be focusing on low-hanging fruits, meaning where you can get easy marks, questions that are repeated every year. So let's look at that. Before we start with that, however, it would be useful to look at the structure of the paper. It hasn't changed for paper 1. You still have section A, which consists of your multiple choice, your matching items and choose the correct words. It is a compulsory section, and you also have distractors in this section. Now, a distractor is a word which is there, a line or a phrase which is deliberately put there to distract you, to mislead you. It seems correct, but it is actually completely incorrect. So be mindful of that, especially in the MCQ section. My advice to you is to read the question slowly, answer it in your head, and then only look at the options which has been provided to you. The next one is section B, which consists of 3 questions. Question 2 will be covering business ventures for paper 2. Question 3, business roles. And question 4 will be a combination of the 2 of them. You need to choose 2 of the 3 questions, but be mindful of your time. You only have an hour and 10 minutes to complete that section. Section C is your essay question, the ever popular essay and dreaded essay question. It counts for 40 marks, as you are probably aware, and I want you to be mindful that you need to be able to write this essay in half an hour. So let's talk a little bit more about this essay, about how it is marked, so that you can know how you should be answering it. Firstly, you are allowed to write your essay in bullet form. Though they are bullets, and it is recommended that you write in bullet form, it still has to be full sentences with a full stop at the end of the sentence. You need to use a specific structure. You need to have an introduction, the body, but please don't write the word body. You are writing the headings that are provided to you. You're just leaving out the verbs of the question that has actually been asked of you. And then you need a conclusion. All right. In this subject, your introduction and your conclusion is different from what it is in languages. In the introduction and in the conclusion, you need to give me additional facts, something you have not mentioned anywhere else in the essay. It is useful to, let's say your essay is, for argument's sake, about HR, the previous topic. And we are talking about recruitment procedures, and we're looking at selection, and we're looking at the interview. It might be useful to look at the definition of what an interview is and what qualities you are looking for in a candidate. You might want to look at terms such as what is a job description and a job specification and the like of that. Try and stick to your meaning of something or the advantages of something in either your introduction or in your conclusions. You can get a maximum of 32 marks for facts. But now what is the other 8 marks? Because it's out of 40. So let's talk about this insight. All right, insight is better known as the FLASO marking method. All right, I'm going to get this right now. There we go. All right, FLASO. So F stands for the facts, which we've told you is out of 32. L stands for the layout, and it consists of two elements. We are literally looking for, do you have an introduction with the heading, actual introduction, with two sentences, regardless of what you wrote. And the second point is, do you have a conclusion, the word, and two sentences, regardless of what you wrote. For having that, it's 1 mark each. So your layout is out of 2 marks. Your next one is A for analysis. Now, analysis is a bit more complicated. So if you have managed to achieve 16 facts, you automatically get your first mark for A, if you get 16 marks. Your second point for analysis is if you manage to, out of the 4 bullets that have been asked, the 4 topics that has been asked, were you able to answer those 4 questions? And if I asked for the impact, were you able to tell me that one is advantages and one is disadvantages? Did you pick that up? In other words, did you answer the question? Did you give me what I was looking for? That is your second one, correct headings. Then your S stands for synthesis. Now synthesis, you automatically get 2 marks. You can, however, lose those marks. So if I asked you for internal recruitment, ways to internally recruit, and you gave me ways to externally recruit, I will be writing in the left-hand margin -S. It's not just one sentence that you got wrong. It's like a whole section. You completely misunderstood what you had to write. I asked for characteristics and you wrote factors or something to that effect. The O stands for originality. Now, originality is when you are capable of building an example, a real-life example, something that's happened in the news, or a company that is going through a difficult time. So we're talking like, let's say we're talking about liquidation, a company that's being liquidated. And we are looking at strategies that that company can use. You can refer to the mail system that is currently being liquidated. They are going bankrupt at this point. You can look at real life examples. If you're capable of building an example that fits in with the topic that you are writing your essay about, you will be afforded that mark. Useful resources, all right. Your exam guidelines is of extreme value. If you don't know where to find them, I recommend that you log on to the government website, www.education.gov.za, and just search for grade 12 exam guidelines. You will get 2 sections. One section is for languages and the other one is for non-languages, and business studies will be under the non-languages section. I hope that you have been either using the departmental post-COVID notes or that you are using the departmental textbook, both of which contains the relevant content which you need to write this exam about. There is also a list of action verbs that will help you understand what is meant with a verb when it gets asked in the question paper. If I asked outline, you just have to list things. If I'm asking you to explain, I'm looking for a couple of sentences. I'm looking for a full sentence. I'm looking for a bit more. If I'm asking you to justify, what does motivate mean? Typically motivate in business studies actually means, if you have to motivate from the text, it means quote, directly quote the sentence that led you to that concept. So that list of action verbs is very useful. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, please ask your teacher to provide you with this list, for she should have done so by now. Another very useful resource is your business studies marking principles for learners. If you use that in combination with the exam guidelines, it will give you a very clear idea of what to expect in your exam paper. So I'm going to take a few seconds now, and we'll be back in a couple of seconds.